Greetings, Indie Warriors! You haven't seen us on camera very much this past year. We've been busy working on reviews, gameplay impressions, live streams, all of the stuff that you've come to expect out of I Dream of Indie Games. But we're back on camera for our Indie Game Awards, and hopefully next year we're going to be on camera a lot more, SilentSigns.
The dreamies, baby! Can you believe we've made it through another year of indie gaming?
The third level of this game loaded for so long that I literally got up, took a dump, finished, washed my hands, came back, and it was still loading. Don't believe me? Here's the load screen for level 3 in real time with no edits. Drink a coffee and give it a go for yourself.
Boobs. Sorry. I mean, sweater puppies.
It's hard to be afraid when you're angry and staring down a phallic contraption or prodding a butthole.
During your long, hard journey to sell these pops, you meet two characters with long and hard parts of their own.
This year was not very memorable for me.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
In games or in life?
In games or in life.
Yeah.
I mean, things happened probably, but I couldn't tell you one thing of note that happened this year. Can you?
Yeah, not really. No, nothing
Okay.
too positive in my life, but I also have to say, compared to 2020 and 2021 in indie games, wow, we had huge years, and unfortunately, in my opinion, not to say there weren't some good games, but it just did not live up to the last 2 years.
I remember the thing that happened this year. I had a parasite for like 4 months.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So, that tells you everything you need to know about 2022.
I've had many viruses. I finally caught the coronavirus, like pretty much everyone else in the world, so that sucked. I'm currently kind of ill because every time I eat anything with dairy, which I don't even realize some of these things have dairy, I get sick. So it was just all in all a crap year. I'm happy to turn the calendar, but let's celebrate some of the great indies that did come out in 2022 because we're not going to be negative Nancy's. There were some great games despite a less than stellar year.
So let's get into a little bit about how we're going to do this. So as you can see, it's not Legend of the Star or Literary Rose here. They are going to have their own separate segment where they'll let us know some of their favorite indie games. And
Well, you never know with Legend, maybe. We'll see.
I went in, I penetrated the hole, y'all, with my BB. I had to do it. Come on. You know I had to do it. That joke was coming.
We'll implement that later in the video, but for now we're going to talk about the two of us because that's the only people we can speak for.
How pretentious.
Well,
We're going to talk about us.
No, we can't speak for other people. So we're going to talk about our favorite games in these specific categories as well as our favorite games for the year, and then we'll move on to some other fun stuff.
That sounds like a plan to me, SilentSigns. Do you want me to go first in our first category? Or
Absolutely.
Would you like to go first?
So
All right.
our first category is going to be Outstanding Audio.
Okay, sure, audio, yeah. There's one game that comes to mind instantly for me. I totally didn't plan this or anything. I
No,
didn't
certainly
think
not.
so. And that game is Rise of the Third Power. What a stellar soundtrack in this game. The battle theme has stuck with me, and I still play it all of the time on my computer when I'm working on something. It has like this really cool Pirates of the Caribbean vibe to it. Pirates are a theme in this game, by the way. And it's just a stellar soundtrack all around. For a game that I really think was overlooked this year, it was my personal favorite JRPG that released. The soundtrack has everything you would expect from a JRPG. Emotional tracks, hard-hitting tracks, even some metal licks on some of the boss themes. I just thought they did an excellent job all around with the audio of this game. How about you, SilentSigns? What is your selection?
First of all, I would agree that game was fantastic, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more later. But for me, mine came as kind of a surprise because it's a sort of end-of-the-year pick and not necessarily a game that I was absolutely like head over heels in love with. But the soundtrack stood out to me as something I would listen to in and outside of gameplay, which is kind of rare for me. You know, I like listening to my home music at home and my game music when I'm gaming and, you know, my work music when I'm working.
Yeah, I'm like the weirdo that plays game music while I'm working.
I don't know, I have to like compartmentalize. But the game is Wavetale. This soundtrack is fantastic. It was very original. It was not what I was expecting. It definitely had like a cool, chill vibe to it, which fit the game super well. And while the gameplay was good, not necessarily my favorite game of the year, I had a lot of fun listening to the music, and it made me feel some type of way. So.
Okay, yeah, technically not a 2022 release in the grand scheme, because it was Stadia, but I'll let it slide.
But you know what? Who has a Stadia? Let me know in the comments.
Nobody can play it now.
Because I don't.
And you won't either.
And I won't.
Better speed up if I'm gonna make it.
The ignition switches are at the top of the furnace.
Next, we're going to celebrate our favorite visuals in an indie game that was released this year. One came to mind instantly. This was not one that was hard to think about for me at all, and that game is Trek to Yomi from Devolver Digital. What an amazing style and authenticity to this. Really a throwback to classic samurai movies in the way it looks and feels. I loved this game for many reasons, but by far, visually, this was the game that stood out to me the most. The black and white aesthetic, the animations, and I know a lot of folks out there were kind of bummed that this didn't come to Switch, but I almost feel like on Switch you would be missing out on what made a lot of this game special, and it's the way it looked. And I don't think you would get the same visual fidelity there. It's possible you could obviously you could put it on Switch, but man, if you have the rig to handle this thing on a nice PC, you get some amazing, amazing visuals here. And it probably looks great on your PS4, your PS5, or wherever else too. But wow, I was super impressed with the cinematic direction of this game and just how fantastic it looked.
Speaking of amazing visuals, if you have a good PC, my pick was Evil West.
Oh, yes.
Is a game that I loved. I know that maybe on consoles
I heard it was like capped at 30, strangely.
Wasn't as great as what I
Yeah.
experienced.
We unfortunately didn't play that version. Well, fortunate, I guess.
I didn't play that version. I played it on PC, and I'm so glad I did because it looked amazing. Not only were the freaking finishing moves like so fantastic, but just to see it in such high fidelity, it was amazing.
I watched you play some of this game, and I have to say, this is like one that got middling reviews, and I know you really loved it. I thought it looked so fun, like a throwback to older games in a lot of ways, and how it played. I like the over-the-top violence and stuff. It looked beautiful, too.
Look, let me just tell you, I love a good story. I love a good story. This wasn't it. I wasn't playing this for the story. I was playing this to, like,
but it was kind of fun.
Punch a zombie up into the air and then stab him with my whatever, you know?
I like the mix, not that this is a narrative category, but I like the mix. Like, I haven't played the game fully myself, but the whole vampire cowboy thing kind of works for me.
I loved it.
I think this game is cool and a nice selection because, yeah, you're right. If you have the hardware, this puppy can look nice.
Environments were gorgeous, gorgeous.
Not that it's like the indiest of indies. There is some budget to this game. It's not AAA, but it's like somewhere in that AA category.
But
wow.
Damn it, it's our show. I can say what I want.
And it looks really nice. Yeah. All right, most innovative title. And this almost made my top 3 for the year overall. I love this game. That game is called Rollerdrome. It's Tony Hawk with guns, as many YouTubers put it in the clickbait titles. But it is a really fun game. You're skating around, and I never really saw something like this, a fusion of Tony Hawk meets really good, solid gunplay. Almost feels like Max Payne to a degree. You can slow time down, get some really stylish shots. I know like those two genres on their own aren't the most innovative, but the idea of combining them together, a shooter and this roller skating meets Tony Hawk thing, it just really felt fresh to me. I had a blast with this game. It's tough. The challenges in this title are not easy to get, but man, I think a lot of people slept on this one too. What a unique title that really worked.
I agree with you there. Mine is kind of coming from out of left field, but hear me out.
Okay.
Lego Brick Tales.
All right, yeah. The idea of Legos in video games isn't unique, but this game did do something different with it.
Right. How many Lego video games are there?
Well, Star Wars,
bajillion.
Indiana Jones, I don't know, millions.
I think I talked about it in my review. The first Lego game I played was like in the 90s on my Dell or whatever PC we had at the time. Our Gateway maybe? I don't know. But this game does something a little bit different with the Lego franchise in that it's far more interactive and you can actually build stuff and like you could customize it and there's a story to it. I just like what they did with kind of a franchise that's been around forever, and it was a fresh take on it. It's fun for the whole family.
I agree.
It was fun.
I thought this game was really neat. This whole idea of a digital version of Legos without having to buy the expensive set or have the pieces go missing everywhere. And it's a relaxing game in a lot of ways. A little frustrating at times here or there, but
Definitely.
so are Legos too if you
Exactly.
screw up. And I think this did a great job emulating the concept of playing with real Legos.
Exactly.
And you have like this cool overworld to it too with this fun story. That's a good selection there, SilentSigns. Yeah. All right, I'm going to give this game that I loved so much yet another BJ here, SilentSigns.
No BJ's on camera,
Rise
please.
of the Third Power. Our category here is Best Narrative. And man, there were some twists and turns in this game that really shocked me, honestly. And that doesn't happen a lot in video games to me anymore. I was really saddened at certain events. I was really happy at other moments in the game. It's a well-written game. I get along great with Evelyn now because we had that interview that I loved so much on this channel. We got to learn more about the story that way. So a little bit of bias here because we did kind of bond and become friends, but still, no narrative stuck with me more than Rise of the Third Power.
It is true. I can confirm that is all he talks about to this day. How much he loves that game. For me, I don't think this will be a surprise to anyone who saw my review of Bear's Restaurant or Fishing Paradiso. But since it came out this year, my award for narrative would definitely go to Fishing Paradiso.
A lot of heart in that game.
Oh my god, nothing makes me cry more than those games for some reason.
Gosh, it's good writing.
It's good writing. It's a funny, sweet, a little bit emotional story.
It's not quite as depressing as Bear's Restaurant, was
Not
it?
quite, but I mean, I think that Bear's Restaurant kind of prepared me, like really built up a tough skin so that I wouldn't be so upset.
Kind of like, I could see this on our new series, Whose Indie Is It Anyway?
Absolutely.
Appearing one day, because I feel like this is another game that maybe came and went, and not a lot of people are talking about it anymore. But I agree, Fishing Paradiso, some strong writing in the game, but also just a fun game, and fishing game being fun, you know, for a lot of people, that's like,
Surprised
what are
me
you talking
too.
about? But
But
it's
it's a
fun.
great one.
The most disappointing release this year, SilentSigns. Weird that we agreed on one. Wow, that's interesting. We never agree on much of anything, do we?
It's true.
But here it is, and no doubt about it, easily for me. This was
Ready?
a game I was really looking forward to. 3, 2, 1,
Scorn!
Oh man, what went wrong with Scorn? It's like an art project that somebody made, but they forgot to put a video game in it, and it's this boring, dull world.
Okay.
I'm unfortunate. I don't want to be negative too much here, but I just don't have a lot good to say about Scorn. It felt like a game for nobody for me.
So I know you're maybe a little bit harder on it than I was. I liked the concept of it.
I do not.
Just the
There's no
execution
concept.
of it kind of fell flat for me.
What's the concept? I don't even know what like Myst meets horror game meets first person bad shooting.
It's a dark, kind of disgusting, visceral world where you're solving puzzles to get through these like fleshy rooms.
Okay, here's the thing though. I'm all for like a dark, disturbing world, but there's no like narrative to carry that, and you're just in a dead world with nobody to care about, with no real thematic tones that resonate with you. There's no interesting characters. The mechanics stink. The puzzles are annoying. Ugh. Scorn, you disappointed
We
me.
wanted it to be good, and
Of
that's
course.
why it was so disappointing.
There's not a game on this channel we don't want to be good. It's
No,
not like
of
we want to
course.
play a crappy game.
My expectations were here.
I think a lot
right?
of people's were.
And then my gameplay was like here.
Yeah, and I know there's defenders out there. There's defenders for everything out there, but I think the general consensus was, who was this game for? And it was disappointing. Okay, before we get into our top 3, we're going to go into our honorable mentions because these games do deserve a shout out. They were great this year, and maybe no game was talked about more in our Discord than Infernax. This really resonated with a lot of people. It is a great throwback to the Castlevania days, good fun gameplay, a lot of cool Easter eggs. Shout out Infernax, really wonderful game.
I'm gonna add one that we didn't talk about prior to this,
Okay, sure.
but I think that it deserves mentioning, and that would be Return to Monkey Island.
Yes, not innovative in any real way, but a really great throwback and a comeback for this series.
Great style as well.
Just a well-made product. Yeah.
Yes.
I know a lot of people hampered on the art. Is hampered the right word for this? Harped on. That's what I'm trying to say.
There we go.
They harped on the artwork for this game, but once I really saw it in motion, I thought it looked great, and it has a lot of charm to it, so good selection there.
It brought
Yeah.
me joy.
Good selection there. How about McPixel 3 making the list, huh?
Pixel 3
Yeah,
was...
McPixel 3.
I'm not gonna lie to you, it was one of my favorite games I played this year. It's not gonna make the list only because it had some really tough competition, But it's such a silly, stupid, fun game that I think that it belongs in everyone's collection.
Another one late in the year, too. Yeah, it is stupid, but that's kind of the best part about
But that's its charm. When you find Steve, you find yourself. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, shout out to McPixel. I also enjoyed it, and for someone who like doesn't always have the best attention span,
yeah, it's perfect
game. Yeah, perfect game. All right, what else we got here, SilentSigns?
We have There Is No Light.
Oh yes, There Is No Light. This also almost made my top 3. What a great game for a genre that's not usually my favorite, because this is a challenging game in a lot of ways, but it was a great throwback to titles like Legacy of Kain. It was dark, moody, atmospheric. It got some hate out there from people that I don't understand, because what a great art style, fun gameplay, and just a wonderful... I almost had this in the audio category too, because man, when you have like the crowds chattering and stuff, it legit gave me chills. I know the story is a little bit nonsensical here or there, but man, I like this game a lot. It won the Golden Genie Lamp for a reason.
Cool. One that surprised me, once again, was Cursed to Golf.
Really good game.
Very well made product and made me enjoy golf, which is not typically something I enjoy.
Or roguelike, really. It's not our favorite, but they killed it with this game.
Very addicting, very well made product, very fun to play, fun to look at, great soundtrack, really nothing bad to say about it.
A game where you're not aggravated to start over again.
No, I mean, it is a little disheartening, but you do feel like you make progress and learn as you go, which is...
And as someone who likes golf video games, I thought they executed the mechanics really well. It's fun to use the cards, which I'm also not usually a fan of in games. They did a great job with this title.
Next up, another one that I chose, Restless Soul, which is a cute little pixel narrative adventure game.
I gotta admit, I almost forgot about this game.
I did not. I've been thinking about it a lot lately, actually, because I really, really, really liked it.
Okay, what was so special about Restless Soul for you?
The sense of humor. The sense of humor was immaculate, and if you can make me laugh, then you've won me over.
Alright, I'm gonna make you laugh. Hold on, ready? Anything else you want to mention, Silent?
Speaking of laughing, we have to mention RiffTrax.
RiffTrax. Oh,
the
yeah.
game.
Yeah, we didn't have like a party game category per se, but RiffTrax was really enjoyable. It brought friends together in our Discord, and we actually even had some friends over, which is like a foreign concept nowadays.
We have people that will actively ask us to play this game now, so...
Shout out to RiffTrax.
A lot of fun.
I didn't like it quite as much as What the Dub, but I'm starting to now that they're adding more to
I was gonna say, they've done a good job of keeping up with new content,
new clips and stuff,
fresh ways to play it, and
yeah, I noticed that the last time we booted it up, there was a lot more to do, more fun clips and stuff. So yeah, this is a game that has longevity to it as well.
Fun game for the holidays if you have family over and they don't know how to play any other video games. They know how to use a phone, probably.
Yeah, and a shout out to the new Jackbox as well, which almost always delivers at least some fun.
You know,
I thought this year's was not the best, but it's still really good.
It is good.
All right, it's time for our personal top 3s this year. Hard to narrow it down, SilentSigns, as it tends to be. A little easier this year. They kind of came to me more naturally, though, just because there weren't as many amazing games as there were in previous years here on the channel. So, with that said, number 3 for me is Shredder'S Revenge. And I love this game dearly, not only because it's Ninja Turtles, but because it's finally a good Ninja Turtles game. Somebody got the memo that we want these classic brawlers back. The arcade-style Turtles games are many people's favorites, myself included, and boy did they nail it. It plays so fluidly, 4-player action, it's just a blast, and you can tell the developers really cared about Turtles as a whole because they put so much love into the artwork, the characters. I think this game plays a lot better than the more recently released River City Girls 2, or any other brawler for that matter in the last few years. It's not super innovative in any way, but it's just a brawler done really well. So that's my number 3. Do you want to do your number 3, or would you like me to do my number 2?
Well,
I will do a number 2.
Oh, disgusting. I might as well do my number 3 because mine's the same as yours.
What would theoretically a number 3 be? You know, we have like a number 2 when we go to the bathroom. What would a 3 be like?
I don't want to talk about that on
camera.
Right.
Anyway, number 3.
Number 3 is Shutter'S Revenge.
Oh, same one. Okay.
Yeah.
Copycat.
I did not. I came up with mine independently. Thank you very much.
We are indie.
We first checked this out at PAX East in 2022, very early in the year. We got to play the early
Gosh,
demo
that was
of it.
this year. That's weird to think
I know,
about.
isn't that crazy?
We'll be going to the next PAX soon.
And I talked to the folks that were working on this game, and I could tell how much they loved the Ninja Turtles.
You really could.
Which is amazing, because that's who you want making your Ninja Turtles game. And
Yeah.
it was so apparent when we were playing this game. As Joe just said, it's fast, which I like. In a brawler, I like there to be a good degree of speed to the gameplay, so you don't feel like you're lagging behind. I love that there are party pizzas in this one, so that
Nice
when
idea.
one person gets health, everybody gets health. That's fantastic. I wish more brawlers would do that.
I love the drop-in nature of it too. Someone can
Yes.
just do that old arcade style drop-in, hit start, join the party, you know. What a great game.
Yeah. Well, not much else to say that hasn't already been said, but it's a lot of fun.
Time to drop a deuce with number 2, and my selection is a fantastic game, Signalist, which is a survival horror throwback with a cool sci-fi narrative, awesome fun gameplay. I absolutely fell in love with Signalist. If you haven't seen our review, be sure to check that out. In fact, we'll probably have links, if we don't get lazy, to all of these in the description box below. YouTube loves their links in description boxes, but apparently they hate anybody else's now, so you're probably seeing channels pull those. That's why, because YouTube doesn't like external links, because they want to keep you on their damn platform.
Yes,
But
they
anyways, no, Signalist is just creepy. It's atmospheric. It has great visuals. The gameplay is fun. The narrative, you don't know what the hell's happening half the time, but that's kind of what's awesome about it, because eventually things come together. It's creepy. It's atmospheric. I don't have enough good adjectives or verbs or anything to say about Signalist. What a phenomenal game.
It was very cool. I watched you play some of that. Some of those puzzles are crazy, but not...
They are tough, and that's another thing I liked. That's a good one, SilentSigns. I am not the biggest puzzle guy in the world, but I loved working at these. They were tough, but they were fair.
Yeah, not insurmountable.
That's a game too.
It
not
was,
a great
but
video
not
game.
on this list.
Not a great video game. Sorry, insurmountable fans. SilentSigns, you want to go with your number 2?
I would love to, because where else could this game be but number 2 with all of the poop in it?
Drop the deuce.
Hell Pie was my number 2 game of this
Now,
year.
this one is interesting, because this did not initially win the Golden Genie Lamp of
Okay.
Approval, but it got patched later and fixed a lot of those issues that prevented it from the Golden Genie Lamp.
Also, we were being stricter with our awards at a certain point this year, and I think if we weren't, I probably would have given it one. But it was one of my favorite games, and one that I still think about and want to play again. I love this game. It's so crude and disgusting, and like
A lot of dick drawings.
everything bad, you know, everything bad is in this game, and that's what makes it good.
I know that I'll be bad for good. Yeah, it is awesome. I actually fell in love with Hell Pie as well. I know the adult humor is not for everyone, but
Certainly
I feel
not.
like they pulled it off in this game. I was laughing my butt off when you had that, like, was it a fax machine with the dicks
the
flying
dicks,
out of it?
yes.
But it's fun. It plays well, too. It feels like a classic, like, Banjo-Kazooie style collect-a-thon in a lot of ways.
Exactly.
I felt like the mechanic with, what was the Cupid thing, or whatever it's called, where you fly with it, and that
Its
just the
name
grappling hook.
Was Nugget.
Nugget, thank you,
okay?
yes. I thought that played really well. It's more competent than you would expect this game to be.
It is. It is genuinely a good platformer. If you are a fan of platformers, it is a must-play in my opinion.
3D platformers in particular.
Yes.
Yeah, really good game. Good choice there, SilentSigns. I'm glad to have Hell Pie celebrated here. No surprise, my number 1 pick, Rise of the Third Power. I don't care what you all say down there. I know not everyone loved this game. Some of you were a little disappointed after Era fell. I thought this game was better in every single way. From the visuals, from the storytelling, to the amazing audio that I touched on earlier. I fell in love with the characters in this game. I thought it was well paced. It's a great battle system. I'm a huge turn-based fan, and I had a blast with this system. Way more fun than Chained Echoes, in my opinion. I know a lot of you love that game way more. But screw it. This is my awards show, damn it. I can pick the game I want to pick. And Rise of the Third Power, best game of this year by far. Not even close for me.
Alright, well, for me, this is one of the first games I played this year, but I have thought about it ever since and really, really, really loved playing it. It was super rewarding to play, super funny, great sound design as well. Nobody Saves the World.
Good choice. I'm glad that that finally got mentioned.
I loved that game. I loved leveling up all the different types of creatures that nobody could become. Like the egg.
It's addicting, isn't it?
Super addicting, super fun.
Like that hit of endorphins you get
Yes.
when you unlock a new character. I was so thrilled when you unlocked the
yes!
egg. The
I
egg was
got
my
the
favorite. The egg was awesome. This game is fun. It's addicting. Came out super early in the year, but
It did.
stuck with both of us too. Same with Rise of the Third Power. So
Yes.
that just shows you the real strength of this year, in my opinion, was in those first few months.
Yeah, but they were great games, so what can you do? You know, what can you say?
Okay, audience selection for Game of the Year was, unsurprisingly, Shredder'S Revenge. I'm not surprised by it anyways,
not
but
at all.
well deserved as well, because we talked about Shredder'S Revenge a lot and why it's so great. Good to have brawlers back in the spotlight like this, and what better way to do it than with the Ninja Turtles, a brand that people recognize. I hope you all realize now that turning your brain off and just hanging out with friends, having a good time, punching through enemies is awesome.
That's half the fun, and you know, it's a great way to bring people together too, because you can play online, you can play local. I mean, it's on the Switch, it's on everything, so...
Which brings us to our consensus game of the year here at I Dream of Indie Games, and really this came down to it both being on our list, so...
And being on your list.
Yeah, exactly. Shredder'S Revenge is the I Dream of Indie Games Game of the Year. Congratulations! I can't think of a better way to end this year than partying with the Ninja Turtles with 4 of my best friends, or 6 of your best friends,
Pizza
actually.
party.
Yeah. Pizza party.
Of course.
Indeed. What a fantastic game in a year that I'm not sad to see go, but as you saw here today, we had lots of great releases.
Just before you eat that pizza, be sure to take your Lactaid.
Yes. The Lactaid screwed me over even more, I feel like, but I made the mistake today of, I ordered avocado toast, right folks? And you would not expect cheese to ever be anywhere near an avocado
What a
toast.
millennial.
But god dang it, they freaking put cheese on my avocado toast. And I had paid like $10 for it, so it was like, wow, do I get sick or do I just not eat and eat the $10?
You take one for the team.
Which, looking back on it, I probably should have just not ate the toast.
You could have just taken the cheese off.
That would be, it was a crummy cheese though. It was like a feta, whatever you call it, feta, I don't know. It was my fate to get sick, and unfortunately, that's how my year is gonna end. So, thank you all though. You really almost doubled the size of I Dream of Indie Games this year, SilentSigns.
Yeah,
Incredible
it's crazy.
efforts from all of you out there. Thank you for all that you do for independent content. We are going on our 4th year. Can you believe that, SilentSigns? We're going to have our 4-year anniversary in October of 2023.
Wow.
So, can we make 4 years? Can we do it? I think so, but that's only thanks to you out there. We only exist because of our great indie warriors, legends, immortals. You're the ones that like the videos, you become channel members to get into the Discord, you do all of those awesome things, you watch the videos, and we don't do any kind of e-begging nonsense here. We just want to do something for the betterment of indie developers and publishers. Don't give us money if you can't afford it. It's tough out there right now, SilentSigns. People can't even hardly afford gasoline to get to work. I'm in that boat.
Or heat.
Or heat. So we're happy to supply some entertainment to all of you out there while we go through these harder times.
I would also like to thank the folks that aren't on camera right now. Literary Rose and Legend of the Star.
Yes, they brought some real stability to the channel this year.
They did. They also brought their unique personalities and tastes in games, and of course their talent for streaming, which we certainly don't have, but they very much do.
Absolutely. The live streaming has become such a phenomenal component of I Dream of Indie. We look forward to chatting with you there every single day of the week pretty much now. And just the friendships I've built. You know, you're not really supposed to become friends per se with business partners, but here we are. We all kind of love each other.
You're
too
stuck
late.
with us.
And we definitely appreciate and love all of you out there for allowing us to make content, because when we started this journey, SilentSigns, there were like 10 or 12 other indie channels popping up shortly after us. Those channels are gone now, but we're still here somehow. And I think that's a testament to all of you out there believing in this message of bringing a voice to the voiceless once in gaming. So to all of you out there that support indie developers and publishers, Happy New Year to you. Merry Christmas whenever you're watching this. This is our final piece of content until January 2nd, where we'll be back with our full schedule of live streams and hopefully some reviews early into the year. We've already got some 2023 games in. Can you believe it, SilentSigns?
Very exciting things to come in 2023. I am sure of it. I hope that you're all along for the ride, and we will see you out there on the interwebs.
Oh, and one final announcement for everybody out there, SilentSigns.
Oh God, what?
Very special announcement.
You're eating more cheese?
I'm not eating more cheese. Well, I might be.
Okay.
But it's gonna be around June of 2023, where Old Gamer Joe is gonna tuck up his balls, and we're going full time, baby, at I Dream of Indie Games. So look forward to even more content, because gosh dang it, ready or not, I'm I'm quitting my job, and I'm gonna be a YouTuber.
But why do your balls have to be tucked?
I don't know, that was just something I said. Full time, baby! Thanks for your support. Happy New Year. We'll see you all soon on the channel. Have a great vacation, everybody.
For too long, we have allowed toxic trolls, angry gamer culture, AAA games, and clickbait titles to dominate gaming media. But at I Dream of Indie, we are bringing a voice to the voiceless ones in gaming. Having covered over 1,000 indie titles, we offer professional-level reviews of indie and AA niche games. Our weekly live streams, Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern, offer a first-look perspective at some of the most exciting-looking indies on the market. And our upcoming Indies Clickbait Free series keeps you up to date on which games you can look forward to. So if you've grown tired of a game's media constantly telling you what you need to play, then it's time to say goodbye to the echo chamber and join us on this wonderful campaign to bring indie developers and publishers a voice.